Good morning, students. I hope you all are good. As in our previous online classes, we had completed the first chapter of civics, the constitution and its salient features, and the second chapter, the fundamental rights, duties and the directive principles of the state policy. I hope you all have done the assignments, all the 5 assignments which are related to the above chapters. If you have any doubt, please ask before doing your work. Now today onwards, I will start with the history syllabus with chapter 1st, Harappan Civilization. Before starting the Harappan Civilization, it is very important for us to know why should we study history. So as you can see it on your screen that it is written, history is his story, the story of a man and of course the woman or the womankind. As it deals with the events that have happened in the past, the whole of the past may be put under 2 headings, the prehistoric or the historic. Prehistoric is that period about which we do not get any information in the writing. Means the things which we don't have in writing. Prehistoric tells you about that the period, it refers to the period before the invention of writing. There are no written records available for this period. To understand prehistory, archaeologists dig deep into the ground and bring out the material remains to the past. These remains such as the pots, jewelry, tools, coins, bones and so on helps archaeologists to know about the prehistory. Then the second thing tells about the history. Historic events. The historic event refers to the period about which written documents are available. Okay, this is the time when early man started writing was done on the rocks, pillars, copper, plates, clay tablets, palm leaves and on the barks of the birch trees. Later paper began to be used. Historical records became much more detailed. The invention of printing made the production of books easier and faster. So in this way we'll come to understand different sources through which we are able to study about history. The study of past is not only interesting, it is useful and informative also. Now how it is useful and informative? Because history tells us how men and women lived from age to age. How have languages grown? What social, political and religious institutions and beliefs prevailed from time to time? We cannot understand our present life without a knowledge of the past. Are you able to understand your present life without the knowledge of your past? No. Thus, by means of history, the past is connected with the present. It's absolutely true that the past is connected with the present. We can then understand better how man and institutions have developed and how they have become what they are. Men without memories and a nation without tradition would face an identity crisis. As you have seen, the time in history is divided into 2 things, that is BC and AD. The time in history is expressed in BC and AD. The years before the birth of Jesus Christ are expressed in BC, that is before Christ. They are counted backwards. Okay, please remember they are counted backwards. For example, 100 BC comes before 99 BC. Then we'll talk about AD. The years after the birth of Jesus Christ are expressed in AD. It means Anno Domini, that is in the year of our Lord. These years are counted forwards. For example, AD 99 comes before AD 100. As you can hear, AD 99 comes before AD 100. Studying history is important because it allows us to understand our past, which in turn allows us to understand our present. Studying history can provide us with insight into our culture of origin as well as cultures with which we might be less familiar, thereby increasing cross-cultural awareness and understanding. It can tell us what decision worked is particular situation in the past and what did not. And the main reason behind why we should study history is to ensure that we don't repeat the same mistake as our forefathers when history repeat itself. So in this way, we had come to understand the importance of history and why we should study history before starting any of the chapter of history. The next topic is important features of the early civilization. In the words of the A.S. Davis, civilization implies settlement in the definite territories, the building of cities, the evaluation of the ordered methods of government, the development of trade and commerce, and a capacity of progress which is unrestricted. Thus, the most important features of the early civilization were as follows. So you can see the first point, settlement in the definite territories. Settlement in the definite territories describes about that instead of moving from place to place in search of food, man had built permanent house along the river banks so that he can grow the food crops and cultivate it, everything whatever he wants, and settled in one place. So because of that, his time will not waste it and he will get all the resources from the bank of the river. Second point, you can see development of trade and commerce and various crafts. So development of trade and commerce is also very important in history. Thrived and was conducted according to the set of rules. The merchants use uniform weights and measures. There are many reasons to believe that overseas trade existed. The remains of the dockyard have been found at Lothal in Gujarat. A seal depicting a ship has also been found. Mesopotamian records maintain milieu, a name used for the Indus ports. Moreover, Mesopotamian seals have been found in Indus cities and Indus seals in Mesopotamia. So it shows that they had a trading relationship in between. Then the third point describes about the skills to express one's thoughts in writing. It describes that the Indus script has been engraved on numerous seals found from the various sites. It is the earliest form of writing discovered in India. The script is pictographic. It consists of signs that are like pictures, representing words, objects, and ideas. Unfortunately, the script has not been disappeared. Then the next point describes about evolution of rules and some methods of government. While the Harappan civilization was developed across half of the Indian subcontinent, another major civilization sprang up in the river valley of Tigris and Euphrates. This is called the Mesopotamian civilization, which saw the rise and fall of several city-states. The civilization ultimately depends as much on man as on plants and animals. The river valleys provided both water and fertile soil where plants could grow in. In the river valleys, mankind had very good chance to progress. Now, the next point describes about the sources to reconstruct the Harappan civilization. With the discovery of the Harappan civilization, a new chapter was added to the history of India. There are many sources to reconstruct the history of the Harappan civilization. So the first one describes about the remains of the two towns, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, reveal a remarkable sense of town planning. The town planning was remarkable during the time of the Indus Valley civilization. The drainage system, the Great Bath, the Assembly Hall, and other public buildings. Among the interesting discoveries in the Great Bath, which had galleries and rooms and an open quadrangle in the center. We have given a detailed account of the Great Bath later in this chapter. So you will come to know in detail about the Great Bath in this chapter only. Then the next point we will see about the Harappan and the Mohenjo-daro. Each had its own citadel, which was probably occupied by the members of the ruling class. The citadel points to an elaborate planning which justifies that Harappan civilization was an urban civilization. You must be thinking that what is this citadel? The citadel, the cities had a raised part called the citadel. The citadel had massive walls and its height provided protection against floods. Important structures like public bath, granaries and the town hall were situated in the citadel. More than 2,000 seals have been discovered from the various sites. From seals, we come to know about the physical features, dress, ornaments and religious beliefs of the people. We have discussed the importance of the seals in the later part of the chapter. So there are more than 2,000 seals have been found during the excavation. They are flat, square or rectangular in shape and are made of clay, stone and copper. They have human and animal figures such as that of bull, buffalo, goat, tiger and elephant, with a few pictures like signs on the top. The seals were probably used by merchants to stamp their goods. The seals inform us about the artistic skills, trade, contacts, dress, ornaments, religious beliefs and the script of the Indus people. The bronze figure of the dancing girl, the terracotta figure of the mother goddess and the stone statue of a noble bearded man suggest that the people of the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro must have been clever craftsmen. The most outstanding work in the metal is the bronze figure of a dancing girl. What it identifies? With the right hand on her hip in a dancing posture. She is wearing necklace and her hair is neatly fashioned in the form of a bun. It is one of the great masterpieces of the Harappan art. A dockyard surrounded by a massive brick wall was discovered at Lothal in Gujarat. The dockyard suggests that they practiced navigation on the coast of the Arabian Sea. As a brick dockyard has been excavated at Lothal, it shows that the Harappans were familiar with the ships. The dockyard was probably used for berthing the ships. The find suggests that Lothal was a port for overseas trade, probably with the Mesopotamia. The Harappans invented the art of writing like the people of ancient Mesopotamia, but the Harappan script has not been deciphered so far, means it was not able to read. Then, objects of the Sumerian origin found at the Indus cities indicates that there were trade relations with the India and the Mesopotamia. The Harappans used sets of cubical stones as weight. So in this way, we'll come to know about the sources of the reconstruction of the Harappan civilization. It tells you about the town planning, it tells you about the Great Bath, citadel, importance of seals, the figure of a dancing girl, beard man and dockyard, as well as the script of the Harappan civilization.